Yo, what's up? What's good? You are now tuned in to the Keys and Seeds podcast, where we discuss music, mental health, and spirituality from the perspective of Ken, the artist, as well as Ken, the person behind the art. And of course, if you support the pod, then you too are also Ken. Be sure to join the conversation and follow the pod at keysxseedspod. And as always, knowledge and kindness is key. This is episode, I'm not sure yet, but welcome back to the pod. And without further ado, let's jump into the episode. Welcome back to the pod, everyone. I'm not sure what episode this is because I am not in my usual setup. I am currently back home in Nap. I came back home to support my best friend who just graduated from Butler, from pharmacy school. So shout out to my best friend. But of course, while back home in the city, I also had to be productive with my time and maximize my time here. So I booked a space to get some interviews in. I have a whole list of people here in the city that I want to eventually get on the pod. Of course, I can't get everybody this weekend, but I was intentional about the people who I chose for this weekend. And shout out to I Create Studios for allowing me to use their space for today. So without further ado, I am excited for this episode because I have a guest on the pod. I've been saying that I want guests on the pod, and the time has finally come. I'm not sure when this episode is going to be released in relation to the other interviews that I'm recording, just due to chronological, how I'm planning out my content. But this individual who I have on the pod today is the second person who I am interviewing today, second person to be interviewed for the pod. And I am super excited to have this person. Like I said before, every guest that I do plan to have on the pod, I'm going to be very intentional about selecting. The individuals that I choose to have on my pod are people who I feel brand and values align with what I stand on. And the individuals that I have on are people who I see and what they do, I really rock with and genuinely support. So this individual I have is NaShan, the Postroadigans. And I don't remember exactly how I came across her. And I'm saying her like she's not sitting next to me, but just to give an introduction before she introduces herself. I don't remember exactly how I came across her brand. I think it had to have been one of the...
It was Twitter.
Twitter?
Yep.
Do you remember exactly how on Twitter?
I found your music.
You found me?
Mm-hmm.
You remember like what song it was? This had to have been when I was still American.
Yep. I don't know what song it was, but that's how I came across you on Twitter.
That's what's up. I don't even remember that. My memory is very spotty, but I know that you've had a few viral moments. And like one of the things that caught my eye about you is the fact that you were very, is adamant the word? Just the mindset that you had of wanting to paint a different picture of the neighborhoods that you've grown up in and neighborhoods that tend to get a bad rep. Because I feel like, even when it comes to, quote unquote hoods or ghettos, people, of course, like have their own mindset of what, a neighborhood is or, what the people are, within, who those type of people are. But I feel like if you've grown up in those type of neighborhoods, like, that there are a lot of intelligent, creative individuals. I feel like sometimes we just become a product of our environment, and because of what's around us, sometimes we're just, led astray. So the fact that I saw you, just going hard, like on the news, like going viral, trying to paint our city in a more positive light when I feel like even people in our own city, like, shit on the city. Like, I really loved that and I really respected that. So,
Appreciate it.
yeah, just the community work that I see her doing, just what she stands on as far as, wanting to not only tell her story so other people cannot tell it for her, but also giving other people that chance to have their true stories told. So because of, the work that she does, and I respect that, I'm like, I have to have her on the pod. But of course, I know that that's not the only thing that you're into, and we're going to get into that as well. But that was just my introduction, why I invited her on the pod, just seeing, her community work and respecting that, but also, too, seeing that she's also been getting into other things as well. So I'm like, I got to pick her brain. So that is my introduction. Do you want to introduce yourself to the people? Let them know who you are and what you do.
NaShan and Postroadigans. Come from 42nd and Post Road. I'm into music. I'm an activist, advocate for the kids in poverty, work in the school system, the political side of life, and all that extra stuff. So, yeah, that's what I do.
Okay, so, of course, we got to, condense it for the pod, but tell people about your upbringing, because as we both know, that does shape who you are as a person. So how was it for you growing up in the neighborhoods that you grew up in? And I do want to ask you, like, where all have you lived in the city?
Just Post Road.
Just Post Road?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how would you say Post Road and the community that you grew up in has impacted you as a person and still today as an adult? And how did that drive you to your purpose? Because just because that's where you grew up doesn't mean that has to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be your direct purpose. So how did that come about for you?
I grew up on Brentwood. Mm-hmm. So, like, growing up on Post Road, it was cool. It was a family type of neighborhood. Everybody from over there, they grew up there. It made me stronger. I seen a lot growing up, exposed to a lot. It just made me who I am today, made me aware of the street lifestyle. So since I was born into it, I was aware of the streets since a young age. So I grew up around older people. I ain't started hanging out with people my age until I was like 11. So growing up out there allowed me to see the dark side of the streets and allowed me to understand, all right, since I see it now, let's make my mind up of what I want to do, if I want to go this way or go another way. So that's how I really impacted who I am as a person in the direction that I'm going.
What age would you say you were, like, when you had that conscious thought of that? Because I feel like a lot of times, too, like, growing up, because we're so impressionable when we're young, like was it, like, an intentional, like, moment where you, like, realized what you were in and what you were into?
I think I finally was exposed to or woke up to what I was born into when I was, like, in the 4th grade. And, like, after the 4th grade, that's when I started to make my mind up. And I started hooping because I didn't want to sell drugs. That wasn't my lane. And the only reason I tried to sell drugs one time was because of just financial stuff, not because I wanted to get in the streets.
Right.
So, yeah.
So do you still play basketball? Because I do want to ask you about that, too, because I know that was something you were into. How long did you play?
I hooped. I started 4th grade. That was my first team. Mm-hmm. I quit my junior year in high school. But I play around with the kids that I work with.
What high school did you go to?
I hate to say. Lawrence North.
Why you hate to say?
That's not a good school for kids who come from where I come from. They don't accept us from Post Road. They don't rock with us.
I feel that.
Yeah.
So when you had that conscious thought of, realizing what you were into and not wanting to go down that path, how easy was it to stay on that path and to stay standing on that decision? Like, I know it couldn't have happened, overnight.
Yeah, it couldn't. I mean, it was, I want to say it was easy, but it really wasn't, because when you grow up out something like that, everybody expect for you to gangbang.
Right.
They don't expect for you to start talking like different, want to go down a different route. But I could say the people in my neighborhood respected it though. They ain't try to force nothing on me. Like they respected me as the hooper. So that made it easy. But it also was kind of hard because my thoughts was already like different than my environment. So if I exposed my thoughts, I was going to go at war with my own environment.
Right.
So I had to hide myself in order to survive.
For sure.
Yeah.
Would you say it was like a specific thing that triggered that thought for you though and wanting to get into basketball?
I just didn't want to be what was around me. I ain't want to be what I was seeing in my family. I ain't want to be what was in my neighborhood. So that was the closest thing to, it wasn't that many opportunities. So I felt like that was the opportunity to get out.
For sure.
Yeah.
So would you say you had any positive role models at all? Like who you are to a lot of kids and people in your community, would you say you had that growing up?
I mean, I had people in my ear, but not to this full. Nah, I ain't really had that.
For sure. So what led you to be that, not only for yourself, but for other people?
Because my experiences, you get treated poorly when you from the hood because people automatically think you are. Yeah, that's a gangbanger. She ain't nothing. She gonna be a menace. I faced a lot of shut doors because of where I came from, and I just started because I want people to get to know who I am and stop looking at where I come from.
For sure.
Yeah.
So was basketball like a thing that you ever saw for yourself? Like when you first got into, like when you first picked up the ball, did you ever see for yourself wanting to like take it to the league or anything like that? Like was that ever a dream for you, or did you always knew you wanted to be like the activist for your community?
No, I thought I was trying to take, I believe I could take hooping all the way. I just faced some dark stuff, so it made me not even want to do it no more.
Would you say that's a love that you still have? Like, I know you said that you still played, like, with the kids, but would you ever, like, pick that back up and do more with it, or you don't?
Nah, now it's just more training the kids who want to hoop. I'm done with it. Yeah.
Training as in, like, do you coach, like, your own team? Or?
Nah, I come across, like, kids who come from poverty and I train them, or teach them stuff or try to give them exposure to, like, scouts and all that. That's my lane right now. It ain't about me no more.
For sure. Did you ever get a chance to go to college? Was that something that you wanted to do?
I went to college, but not for hooping. I just went.
Right.
I went to Chicago 2015, but I just went because I was ready to get out of my neighborhood. And there was a war going on, too, in my neighborhood, so I was ready to go.
Did you finish?
Nah, I only went just to get away. Once I got the experience of life outside of Post Road, I dropped out. I just stayed in Chicago.
How was that experience for you though? Like how did it add to your growth and your journey?
Going to Chicago? Mm-hmm. It helped me, man. It's like,
I didn't even know you went to Chicago.
Yeah, it allowed me to spread my wings a little bit. Because when I went to Chicago, my friends in Chicago didn't even know I was from the hood. They didn't even know I was kind of gang banging. They didn't know nothing. Because I was finally free. I felt like I was a prisoner when I was back, like, on Post Road. So it gave me a sense of freedom.
I feel that. So would you say, because of the environment, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. Like, would you say, like, you always knew, like, being, like, the activist and the leader for your community? Like, would you say that was always something that you knew was a part of your purpose? Or would you say you kind of just fell into it?
I mean, I don't even know because like a kid at elementary school, I just had my own thoughts, and my own thoughts was like, all right, everybody in my hood, you an adult now. It's a choice. You ain't being pushed to do none of this stuff, and that's how. But I didn't think I was gonna become this big activist or nothing like that. Nah.
So how would you say, like, you actually, like, got into it? Like, what was your first, like, okay, like, this is what I'm about to do for my community? Was it intentional or?
It just came. I just got fascinated with the mind, like psychology in the hood. So I started to watch all hoods around America. I started watching this man named Charlie Bow. He'd go through hoods and film.
Yeah.
I just get fascinated. So I go on Post Road, I film, and I met a man named T, and it just took off from there.
For sure. So how did Charlie come across you? Because I think that was like one of those moments where I had started to like tune into what you was doing too?
I came across him and reached out, and because I wanted to get on his platform just to use my voice on what I think is the issues in the ghettos, and he came out. It was cool too.
And how long ago was that? That was a minute ago.
I think it's going on like 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
He's still doing those type of videos, ain't he?
Yeah, he's still driving around.
That's what's up. So would you say you doing that type of work has also led you to you now being into music, or is music something that you've always wanted to do too? How did music come into the picture?
Because NaShan Clay is the political side. NaShan, the Postroadigan, is the influencer, the entertainer. So I got into the music, because I like music, and that's the easiest tool to snatch kids, like get their attention. They don't care about politics. They ain't gonna pay attention to NaShan Clay. They gonna pay attention to NaShan, the Postroadigan, because she got blue hair and her music is what they like. So yeah.
For sure. But would you say like it's gonna be an intentional blend of the two, or would you say that the two of them are separate? Like, are you gonna use your music to help elevate what you've been doing, or would you say like that's just a completely different chapter and lane for you now?
It's two people, two different personalities, but we got the same mission. It's just NaShan Clay, political. NaShan, the Postroadigan, she is more entertainment, but they pushing out the same message in different ways.
For sure.
Yeah.
So would you say you always knew who you were as a person, especially like growing up where you were, or was it something that you had to like take time to find and discover?
I knew who I was since elementary. I just lost myself, because you can't survive like that in that environment. You got to adapt. They're going to eat you alive. It's like a jungle.
I feel that. I feel like a lot of us go through that, like just being impressionable as kids, and then like just being around, just different people in certain environments. It's like, I feel like a lot of us, we do know who we are, but over time, like you said, we just lose our way. But I feel like sometimes, like, although it's not intentional, like I just woke up and realized, like, okay, like something got to change. I feel like there's a lot of like pivotal moments that people go through too.
Yeah.
So like, would you say it was ever like any pivotal moments like that like help continue to shape you?
Yeah. Yeah, I faced a lot of stuff that helped me push me to this point. Yeah.
You want to open up about that?
Like, what helped me?
Yeah.
I mean, life experiences, like, I'm a quiet person. I ain't no fighter. I ain't nothing like that. So
Right.
people can look at me and think I'm weak. So they'll pick at me all the time. And I feel like, and I always stood out. I was always the outcast. Every time I tried to fit in, it didn't even work. So, like, constantly being picked at and stuff like that really helped me get to where I'm at right now, because a lot of I let people control my image. I let people turn me into who they wanted me to become. So I got to a point where, like, nah, this is not who I am. I started changing. People started attacking me because I was changing, because they couldn't control me. And that made me feel good, because it made me feel like I was in control. So I just kept going. And now, a lot of people who was talking about me literally kind of look like me now. So it worked out.
That makes sense. Because I was going to ask you, because you come across as this quiet, like, to yourself type of person, like, what led you to be as vocal as you are? Because at the same time, like, although that's, like, your aura and your essence, like, you are very vocal and expressive, like, what you do, like, even with you now being into music. So, like, would you say it's hard for you to find that balance of, like, are you naturally just a quiet to yourself type of person? Like, how do you find that balance of, because of what you do and what you're into, you have to be vocal and expressive, or does the vocal and expressive side of you come natural?
Yeah, it comes natural, because I know when to speak and I know when to stay quiet. So when I speak, I say it come off powerful, because now people are not used to me saying anything. So it just come natural.
I love that. I do get that vibe from you because, like I said, like I feel like you do have that perfect balance of that. So switching into the music, how did that come about though?
Like getting back into it,
Yeah.
it's an easier way to build my brain and get bigger. So, cause it's hard to grow your brand when you know like trying to get in the political side of life. But like when you're a social influencer, my message can get out further than the political side of life.
Right.
So I got back into it.
So are you just more so approaching music from the strategic point of view, like what you're saying, or is this something that you've always had a passion for?
I like music. I grew up around a lot of people who did music. My big cousin and them, like they the ones who created Jiggle 8. So I used to watch it. I used to watch them. They used to rap in the closet. I always used to want to get on a. I asked them to rap with them. They always used to tell me no. So I just started rapping on my own.
For sure. What kept you from pursuing that, like, as your, like, main path?
Like music?
Because, like, coming across you, like, I didn't come across you as a music artist.
Cause I was in it. I was chasing the wrong things. I had to find myself. I had to, like, heal things that I needed to, that I was going through. Because I feel like my first time, I feel like I was getting the music for the money. Because I feel like that was going to fix my issues. And I got away. And now I'm back in it because I finally found my purpose. And I'm using this as a tool for my purpose. So, yeah.
I feel
It's
that.
playing out.
So outside of your family, like, who else or what else would you say inspires you on both the music tip and just in general? What keeps you inspired?
Where I come from, the kids, they inspire me. My neighborhood, that's the main thing that inspires me to keep going. If you take both of those out of the picture, I would not be sitting right here, because I wouldn't have no mission or no passion.
I feel that. Do you ever feel stagnant or stuck here, or does it like how do you continue to find that fuel though? Because I feel like a lot of like, do you ever feel like you need to like take a break from it and like get out?
Nah, I think everything going how it's supposed to go. So nah.
For sure. Do you wish to travel?
Yeah, eventually I do want to travel, but I think right now I'm so focused on my goal right now. I don't even care about the extra stuff right now.
For sure, for sure. Do you ever see yourself moving out the city though? I feel like your answer gonna be no.
Yeah, right now no, cause I got a lot of going on like out here. So I don't know. I think I like the city. I think I can find a nice house somewhere and still like travel and get out. Cause this is a cool laid back city. So I feel like when my brand gets bigger, I can still stay here.
For sure, I feel that. So how did you get into teaching?
I don't even know.
That's also something you got into.
I don't know. I just was looking online at like IPS, and I was like, all right, I'm about to just work with kids who are like got disabilities, and I applied. Then my principal, she called me and she switched, and she was like, I think this position is better for you. Then I got in that position, which is a behavior specialist, so I work with kids who are trouble, who come from poverty, and I was like, all right, I like this. It's cool. She give me room to grow and stuff.
For sure. I feel like that fits you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like going into that type of work, it can be very intimidating for people. Like, even if you are able to relate, like, you have to have a lot of patience to be in that type of work. So how challenging is that for you?
It is challenging. I get hit with hand sanitizer bottles. I just got called out of my name Friday. Kids who love me get mad, tell me they want me to die. Then see me the next day want to hang out. So it's cool. It takes a lot of patience. It's not really the kids though.
Right.
It's the adults. But the kids cool. They be vibing with me. They come in my room. They sneak in my room all the time. They just vibe with me. So yeah, I rock with them.
So my question is, because of the impact that, of course, you're able to have on the kids, like, even if they aren't able to, express that all the time, like, that you're making an impact on the kids that you work with, but how are they able to, in return, make more of an impact on you?
they help me grow. Like this one kid, he pushed me out of my comfort zone a lot because he makes me get it, like show affection, and I ain't used to that. So they help me grow. They help me get patient. Like they're pushing me. They're the reason why like I turn my hair blue. Like my whole demeanor, like whole vibe is changing.
Right.
Cause I'm an introvert, so I like to hide. So all this is for them.
Right. You on your rock star vibe.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you about the blue. So what made you dye your hair? I know you said the color is temporary. So are you going like switch up the colors? Like what made you choose blue specifically? Like was it just for the branding with the music? Was it like something spiritual or?
It was with the music. Somebody gave me some fake gel. And it was crazy hair day at the school, actually. And they gave me the gel. I was scared. And one kid was like, just do it. So I did it. I liked it. Kids like blue. I think it fits my brand. So I did it.
I love it. Are you going to like switch up the color and go like a different color?
I don't know. Right now, I'm going to just keep the blue.
You love the blue?
Yeah.
You going to rock with it for a minute?
Yeah. I like the blue.
I love that. I love the blue on you, too.
Appreciate it.
I feel like blue just, as a color, it just gives very, like, calm and, like, it fits you.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a vibe.
So, I know that you also wrote a book.
Yeah.
Did you ever publish it, or are you still working on one? I know that was something that I saw. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, I published that in 2020. It was called Shoes on the Wire. It was just my life story. It was cool.
Can you go more into detail about the book?
It's just me just sharing my experience from my point of view, from what I faced from the start of when I was born all the way to the end of that journey or that chapter in 2020. So just what I went through with my family, what I went through in my neighborhood. I was sharing some deep stuff that I never really shared with anybody. I was sharing thoughts that like a lot of people never knew. And it was just an opportunity for people to actually get to know the real me, not what others like painted me to be.
For sure.
So yeah, it's cool.
For sure. I respect that. Are you still like publishing it and like printing copies of it? Like where can people find it?
Amazon.
Amazon?
Yeah.
You gotta send me that link. I wanna read it too.
You.
For sure. It was something else that I wanted to ask you. Let me look at my notes. I was trying to not look at them. Outside of the moment with Charlie, like you've had a lot of viral moments. Can you tell me about some of the other moments that you've had that you feel like were like
viral?
Huh?
Like viral moments?
Yeah. Or how would you say you've been able to like build your brand over the years?
That's been challenging because now I'm switching. So I'm not really building NaShan Clay no more.
Right.
I'm building NaShan and Postroadigans. So I feel like NaShan, the Postroadigans is kind of easier to build because it's entertainment. So I feel like more people pull into entertainment than the political side. For
sure. Would you say it's still authentic to who you are, though?
Yeah, definitely. I'm true to myself. My appearance, like how I'm expressing myself is just who I am.
For sure. So because you said that, I'm trying to figure out how to word what I want to say. Because it's a completely different brand, do you feel like you're starting over, or do you find yourself, people that's been supporting you, able to switch over now into what you're doing?
It's a lot of people from...
Like, is that transition difficult as far as, like, people following you and tuning into you, or do you feel like you're starting over?
I feel like both. I feel like I do have people who from my first brand coming over, but since I'm a new brand, I got to build myself up so people can find me. So it's kind of both.
For sure. What are your plans as far as building yourself up now with the music?
I don't like to share that because people be listening and all that. But I got a plan. I've been working on this plan before the summer on how I'm going to push my music, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to expose myself and all that extra stuff. So I got a plan. I don't want to speak on it. I just want to show what I got.
For sure. What would you say you're currently doing then?
Right now I'm pushing my single to the moon, and I'm working on a music video. So that's what I'm doing right now.
For sure.
And some other stuff that I don't want to say.
Okay. Are you performing yet? Are you doing shows?
Heck no. I'm too
No.
shy right now.
Girl.
I gotta break out of that.
You've been on how many platforms now? I'm talking about you nervous.
That's different though. I never performed in front of people. That's different.
You can hide behind the shades.
That's true. But if the opportunity came to me and it's the right opportunity, I'll do it.
For sure.
Behind some shades, but I'll do it.
Okay, so I know, and I understand why, not wanting to give the people too much. But what would you say is your overall goal or plan? Like where do you ultimately see yourself as? Like, is it just the music for right now? Is that where you want to like you want to take it all the way, or like what do you like ultimately see for yourself?
I believe I'm about to get big. It's something I'm preparing for. Sacrifices I gotta make. But I think this brand is gonna take off. So yeah, no, I'm just waiting on. I'm just working, but I believe it's about to take off. It's gonna get big.
I feel that. So because on my podcast I speak about mental health and spirituality, I do want to ask you, how important is mental wellness for you, especially knowing, the type of environment that you've come from and, the different things that you've been through. We all go through things.
Yeah,
but
it's true.
I feel like a lot of us might just have more difficult paths to walk than others. And I do feel like you have been, one of those people, unfortunately. So I would say, like,
It's cool.
how are you able to find, like the beauty and the positivity within that? And how do you stay grounded? Like, what keeps you well mentally and what keeps you grounded and going?
I think the beauty in it, it helped me grow. I can relate to kids and stuff like that, and I think just working on my mental and understanding where I'm at is important because I journal, and I have a lot of like emotions, so I have to express myself. So I like to journal. I like to talk things out because if I don't, I know that my mental can go backwards, and that's one of the most important things to me because if my mental now is not like together, then I can't help nobody, and my brand won't grow. So I have to put that like at the top of the list.
For sure. In what ways would you say you've grown? Because I know you've mentioned a lot that you've grown. How are you able to grow versus just... Because I feel like a lot of people, like, of course, like when they go through a lot of trauma at that, a lot of people don't grow. A lot of people choose to just disassociate, run away from it, suppress it. Like, how would you say you've been able, like, would you say you've always been the type of person of, okay, like, let me figure out how I can grow through this?
Nah, it's where I'm at right now. It took me time. Cause everybody is different, so everybody approach things differently. But it took me a while to get here, so it was just me wanting to work, wanting me to grow. I wanted to grow, so I was able to get into situations where it pushed me to grow, helped me understand things differently, and listening to what people got to say, even if it hurts. So
For sure.
yeah, just gotta want it.
What would you say were some key lessons that you've learned this far of your life?
Key lessons. One of the biggest ones is standing up for myself because people can look at me and think I'm weak, but I feel like I'm far from it, but I don't care to express it. I'll be trying to be cool with like everybody and just be
Right.
chill. But sometimes you meet people who don't care what you're doing. They just gonna always try to find the bad in you. They always gonna try to step on you, and I'm learning to be okay with setting boundaries and not feel bad.
For sure.
Yeah, because I used to stand up for myself and then feel bad, and I was like, nah, you can't feel bad. It's okay to set boundaries. Don't let people treat you no way.
For sure. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 27.
27?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say, like, because you said, like, it took you time, like, would you say it was something that you, like, learned and stood on, like, early on, or would you say, like, you just recently became that person of, okay, like, this is what I'm standing on, I'm comfortable with who I am, like, nobody's about to tell me who I am? Because I feel like that's something that a lot of people our age are still learning. But like just the way that you like speak and carry yourself, like you had like a lot of wisdom like that came early on. So would you say like that came early on? Or how did that come about as far as you being in that space of being afraid to stand up for yourself, but now like you sound just very sure of yourself?
I mean, I got on my spiritual journey, 2018, and I think by the time I hit 24, I was separating and getting to that stage where I was able to stand on my own and not be afraid or nothing like that, or what people got to say about me, how I look, how I dress. Not being afraid to lose people when I stand up for myself, because that's gonna happen. But always, just do it in ways that don't cause strife or, issues. And yeah, that's when I reached that point.
For sure. So I know you mentioned journaling. Is there anything else you do as far as just mental wellness and like spirituality wise?
Nah, I just journal, I read the Bible. So yeah, that's what I do.
That. Have you ever went to therapy?
Yeah, I did. But the environment, I went to therapy, but I don't know how to put this without like speaking down on the person, because that's what I ain't trying to do. But it wasn't good, and I feel like it wasn't.
It wasn't a good fit.
Yeah, and that type of work wasn't meant to be, or the way that they approach things wasn't meant to be a therapist. I don't know how to put it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Would you ever approach it again?
Yeah, I do want to get back into therapy, but I gotta find the right one.
Right.
The right one that has compassion and understand, because before I share stuff and it wasn't the right responses to a person that's trying to heal.
For sure.
Yeah, I get back in it.
Do you ever see yourself stepping into that space, like for others?
Yeah, with kids. I do it with kids already.
You do it with kids?
Yeah.
That's what's up. What relationships do you have with kids outside of basketball and teaching?
I got my brand, the Postroadigans. So it's just a bunch of kids. So what I do is it's kind of like more of a mentorship, but it's in a fun way. Like how Funny Mike, he got the Funny Mike and the Bad Kids. So I got kids. I teach them. We do things together. I take them places and we film. We film on YouTube, so they be excited about that and stuff like that. So yeah,
that's what's up. So what exactly are you still doing with your YouTube specifically?
I still vlog and I make content for the kids and stuff like that. So stuff that they like, because they low key like run the world. So I gotta follow their lead.
For sure. Because I feel like when I first started to tune into your YouTube, it was the, community vlogs and, you speaking about, just your thoughts. It was like video diaries in a way. And I really enjoyed watching those videos because I felt like a lot of things that you were like opening up about and speaking on, I'm like, this is what I be thinking, this is what I be feeling. But I feel like a lot of people be afraid to speak on it. But I feel like since then I have seen you like branch out into like other niche content. So would you say like that was an intentional type of branding? Like that wasn't something that you still wanted to do? Or are you saying like that's all of who you are and that's what you're going to continue to do? Because I really enjoyed like the video like diary vlogs. I feel like you kind of stopped on those a little bit.
Yeah, I stopped. I probably won't do those anymore. If I probably like sometimes now what I do is I make content for kids, but I say certain stuff like that. But I would direct it to, I put it in a way that kids understand. So I could still kind of do that, but in a way that.
So you're more intentional about how you're placing the message and where you're placing it.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, it's just a switch up.
So would you say you being as open and as vulnerable as you are, is that something that had to come over time, or has it always just been who you are? Because I feel like a lot of people, even when they have gone through a lot, like a lot of people are just more so like, I don't want to talk about it. But you're very vulnerable. And there's like strength in it. And I feel like a lot of people like run away from that. Like that's something I really like commend you for too. Like would you say that's something that comes easy for you?
Yeah, because I like talking. I like sharing my story or sharing what I'm going through. So only reason sometimes I don't share is because I other people be involved in some of my stories, and I'll be like, all right, how would this affect our relationship if I share this? That's the only reason why I don't share certain stuff.
For sure.
But yeah, it comes easy and it's natural.
For sure. Do you see yourself ever getting into the lane of podcasting? Personally?
I don't know.
I can see you doing that.
I don't know. I don't know.
No.
You catch me on Twitch before you catch me on like yeah.
Okay. So would you say there's anything else that you see for yourself as far as getting into that you haven't touched yet?
Nah, I just take this mission where I'm on right now. Once I feel like I completed enough, I'll be good. After that, all of this is gonna go away. I'm cool.
I feel it. So, wrapping this up, unless there's anything else I missed that you want me to touch on.
Nah.
No. So, because the podcast is titled the Keys and Seeds Podcast, what is a key piece of advice that you would give people that's a seed that they can plant in their life?
Some good advice. Honestly, man, you just got to keep growing and understand this life is crazy. Everybody going through something. We all fall down. But y'all know, man, you just got to keep going. Chase your dreams. Don't give up. Because anything is definitely possible. No matter how many people don't believe. I got a lot of people who don't believe in me. But you got to keep pushing in this life, because you only get one to live. I don't know. Yeah. That's all I got to say.
For sure. Also, I did just think of one question before we wrap this up. What type of, content do you personally like to consume? I know you said that, just your environment and you working with the kids inspires you. But, media-wise,
Like what I watch?
What do you listen to? What do you watch? What do you read?
I listen, I listen to rappers. I like certain rappers with a certain sound that's similar to my sound. I just got on this rapper. Hopefully I pronounced his name right, but his name is Cochise or something like that. I don't know. But I like him. I don't know. I don't really watch stuff. But when I do watch stuff, it'd be like CJ So Cool and Darman and stuff like that. So, yeah. The books that I read is more like Dr. Joanza, Kajinfu, some stuff that can teach me. Right now, I'm just learning about crypto. So, a lot of books I read is more like learning how to elevate myself.
That's what's up. All right, that was just another one I thought of. Is there anything else
No.
you want to speak on? Anything you want to plug or promote? I know you said your single just dropped and you got a music video on the way.
Yeah, I just dropped my song To the Moon. It's on all platforms. Music video on the way.
Make sure y'all go get that. It's a vibe.
We're shooting on Brentwood. Yeah.
For sure. You already got a concept for the video. You don't got to share it with us.
Yeah, I already do. It's gonna be it's gonna make me feel like I'm Lil Uzi or something. Yeah.
That was a vibe that I kind of got for it. I'm like, this, I don't know, it's just a vibe. I'm like, so when you said that you're gonna do a music video for it, I'm trying to picture what it's gonna be like. You already got that in mind, though.
Yeah.
For
Some
sure.
outer space type stuff.
For sure. All right, well, let the people know where they can find you.
All right, you'll find me on all platforms at NaShan, the Postroadigans, Instagram, TikTok. TikTok, I think it's NaShan TPR _ for NaShan, the Postroadigans. And yeah, that's where you can find me at.
All right, thank you again for coming. I really do appreciate you coming on the pod. And that is another episode. That's a wrap.